Okay, so gonna go through a trade recap today I had on ES, and obviously, as you can see, we ended up banging this trade out, but gonna go through all the confluences that I had. So on the hourly time frame, started on the high time frame, we had these very obvious draws of liquidity, which were Asia session lows, London session lows. What do we do? Sweep these out, and we were within a couple high time frame order blocks. We had this bullish one right here, and then we also had this one right here, but I didn't even bother marking it out because I didn't even think we were going to make it to these lows, but we ended up doing that. And then Nasdaq did literally the same thing. Did it a little bit quicker though, and a little bit more intense. So that's why my bias was obviously long, because Nasdaq and ES both took longs. So obviously, scale down to the 1 minute time frame. We had this pretty large uh, bearish fair value gap that we generated right here that we got complete closure above. Didn't take a trade just on that. I wanted to see a reaction out of this bullish order block, which we ended up getting a very, very strong one on this candle. So the next candle, I entered long. Probably could have targeted this draw of liquidity too. I wasn't looking on Nasdaq at the time, which I should have, because Nasdaq already took these highs out that were located right there. So Nasdaq took those highs out pretty quickly, and Nasdaq was actually on pace to take out. It already took out New York session highs. So I probably could have targeted these. Would have been like a pretty safe draw, but I didn't, and I'm fine with that. I'm very happy with this win. But like I said, it's been helping a lot moving between the two indexes, so in between Nasdaq and ES, because they can show you a lot of different things that you wouldn't otherwise, like when Nasdaq takes out Asia session lows, and then that gives you confluence. It's like, hey, ES is probably going to end up targeting these lows, or ES here, like I said, or Nasdaq already took out New York session highs on the low time frame, so that's probably going to be like, hey, ES is probably going to end up doing the same thing. Now, ES doesn't move, obviously, as quick as Nasdaq. Nasdaq moves and fluctuates like a motherfucker. ES is a little bit slower, but it will inevitably follow NQ, and that's what happened today. So this followed literally all my confluences on my trading strategy, which is liquidity sweep of high time frame, liquidity, and not only that specifically, but session highs and lows. So obviously, like here, we had, here, I'll get rid of this. But we had our session low here, which was London session, and then a session low here, which was Asia session. We took both of those out, and we're continuing to pump up. Don't think we're going to make it to this imbalance that we left here. We do still have an hourly imbalance right here that hasn't been filled in. I obviously can see one over here, but it already got filled in during London session, so it's a little bit irrelevant. But I don't think we're going to make it all the way up here. I think we're probably going to take out London session highs and then kind of be a little choppy the rest of the day. But tomorrow, obviously, is not a good day. Tomorrow we have, okay, never mind, moving on. We have Fed funds rates, which just fucks the market. I mean, look at that, 4.5%. That's probably what it's going to look like, either direction, bullish or bearish. But I'll pull up on the chart actually what it looked like the last time we had that, and it sticks out like this was it right here. So sticks out literally like a sore thumb when this happens. So it's very intense. You can't get an entry on that. I'll scale down on the 5 minute here, or I'll mark this out and then go on the 5 minutes, see if I can find it pretty quickly. But we see here, there's no entry here, very minimal up, candles to the upside. It's just completely falling. So that's around that 2 p.m. mark that it happens. So obviously I'm not going to be trading tomorrow, but very, 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 very good trade today. I made I'll pull up on the account actually right here. 496 today. So very good, up $500 on the account, basically $600. So very happy with that. Obviously making a comeback, was on a little bit of a cooler in regards, but I like this price action on ES a little bit better. It's a little bit slower. I can stay in these trades for a little bit longer. Nasdaq just fluctuates too much for me. I feel like that's just it's good for bias, obviously, but ES, I feel like I can kind of stay in these trades a little bit longer. I can hold a little bit more, and I can just use Nasdaq as confluence pretty much. So like taking these highs out, like taking session highs out, like taking Asia session, London session, all that great stuff. So very good trade today. Obviously, it's a short recap. I don't really go into these too much in depth, but it's pretty straightforward. I keep it really simple. Liquidity sweep, order block, break and structure, relative market structure shift. Obviously, today we didn't get like a perfect one. There were I did have one, I think 2 weeks ago that I had that was perfect, but Obviously, we took these, we got a complete closure, just like a stronger break and structure, like these relatively higher highs, getting closure above those versus waiting on just a break of structure of a candle, more of a larger break of structure, if you will, I guess. Anyways, great trade. Caught the majority of this move here so far. Very happy with it. And that's it. So I did a trade recap today, plus $496. Very good.